Good afternoon. Well, I thought I'd do something today that I've not done before as the start of this little vlog. I've had a few people ask me in previous times the apps that I use and what I look for when I'm going out. Now, I normally start about 2 weeks before I know that I want to go out. The reason being, I like to come up with 3 or 4 different locations. So if I have my priority 1 location, which in this instance is Wallasey, I'm not sure how much you can see of this, it's Wallasey, I'm just on Google Maps. But then if the weather turns how I don't want it, i.e. we have got gorgeously clear skies or we've got horrendous rain, then I have another 3 or 4 options to look at. And as you know, because I like seascapes, I'm guided by tide times. So my first port of call, actually I can see that, there's is to Google Maps. And if it's a place that I haven't been before, I will turn it into satellite view and then I'll zoom down. Now I've just picked on Wallasey. I'm heading up that way tonight. Fingers crossed not to actually Wallasey. I'll then grab the little man and see if there's any images to be spotted along the coastline. And apparently on here there isn't. And what I generally try and find is something on the location that I'm looking at going to. Here we go, Fort Perch Rock. Let's have a nosy at that. And I'll just zoom down and have a look-see. There we have Fort Perch Rock Lighthouse. And I can see that we've got a bit of sand, got some industrial stuff in the background. Yeah, that kind of looks okay. So once I've made the decision where I'm going to go, I'll put notes on my phone. The next thing I will do is check, and I don't know if I can pull it up on here, or if I have to do it on my phone, Park for Night. Around a place. I normally do this on my phone, which is a lot easier. So let's do Wallasey. Search. Ah, there we go. And it brings up, flipping cookies, a gazillion places that I can go and park at Maddie overnight. Now I happen to know that at Fort Perch Rock, there's a huge car park there, campers are welcome to park. I also know a few other little spots in that area. But if I wanted to go to Fort Perch Rock, park for night, brilliant. There's a couple of other sites I use. Search for sites is another good one. So the next thing I do is then go on and check tide times. Now the nearest one for Wallasey is Liverpool, and for this I use Tides for Fishing. There's a whole ream of information that means absolutely nothing to me as a photographer, but this gives me sunrise, sunset, high tide in blue, low tide in red. Underneath the high tide times, it also gives you, let's take those off. No, I can't see then. It gives you the tide height, which is 8.3 metres at high tide at 3:45 tomorrow. I'm going up Sunday, so Sunday's high tide is 4:27 and it's 8 metres. And that's it. Clear outside is the weather forecast system that I use, and I use that in conjunction with Met Office. Met Office gives you an overview, as far as I can see, of sunrise, sunset, wind speed, gusts, and cloud percentage and rain percentage. Clear outside gives you a little bit more detail. So at the top here, it gives you clouds, how much of the sky is going to be obscured by the clouds. High clouds and medium clouds. I think it's high clouds that you look for. The sun's coming up. If there's low cloud, it's going to get blocked. But then sometimes it doesn't work like that. If there's low clouds as the sun comes up and you have a bit of a gap and then you get high clouds, you will still get colour in the sky. Zero clouds are great if you just want that beautiful pastel dawn. Now I'll do this process for each of the locations that I'm looking at going to. And the decision is generally made at the very last minute. I will come home from work and go, if I'm going off on the night, I'll go, right, who's looking best? That one's looking best. I'll have all the information in my head already, tide times, sunrise times, parking spots, and off I'll go. And it's that simple. So that's the process I go through every time I decide I'm going away. It can get a bit long and involved, and I'm sure there are smarter ways to work than this, but I found that gives me the most information. So I'm going to go and load Mads up, and I'll see you there in the morning. Sometimes, doesn't matter how much planning you do, things just don't go according to plan. Now this morning I had done all my usual research. Tide times, tick. Sunrise, tick. 2 locations, tick. Cloud cover, not ideal, but 50%, so that's a tick. Sleepy spot, tick. Several of them, to be fair. Alarm set, tick. So I get up, drive up here last night, find my sleepy spot, lovely little spot. Set my alarm, had a sleep, got up this morning, plenty of time to get to my location, arrived at my location, there's no flipping water. I'm like, oh, I don't believe this, what's going on? What's going on? So I jumped in the car, or I jumped back in the car, and headed off to this, which, as you can all see, is Wallasey. Because there was some beautiful colour in the sky. And I couldn't miss it. And I really don't know what went wrong. It's very bizarre. But there was just no water where I was expecting there to be water at the chosen location. Excuse me while I'm moving around. So I figured that I would come here because I like this place and the weather's beautiful. There is some cloud, but there's barely a breeze in the sky. We've got, what have we got? We've got seabirds squawking away and the crash of the waves, and in all fairness, that's about it. Haven't seen a soul, which is fine by me. But a very strange morning. Kind of puts me about a little bit when I do all the relevant planning, and I've been planning this for the best part of a week. And everything just seemed to come together, and I thought, oh, that's great. Job sorted. Hey ho, you live and learn. Let's say the location that I wanted to go to is a new location for me, although it is here in the Wirral, or on the Wirral even. I just don't quite get why nothing. Oh, Lord above, tide is coming in. I'm going to rescue my filters before I get cut off. So yes, there was just no water there, which was most bizarre because the sunrise was looking absolutely superb. Yes, all the best laid plans of men and mice. So I find myself back at Wallasey. Luckily I'd had the foresight to remember that I could get to Wallasey from where I was. And I'm not going to tell you where I was because I'm going to go back there at some point. I've got the sexy wellies on again if you can see them. So now I just need to look for something slightly different composition wise than I had before. The tide is on its way in, high tide is 5 o'clock. So that's good. We've got lovely soft light. The sun's rising over there and it's going to put some lovely light on these defences. Right, I'm going to grab the camera, put the 17-55 on and have a go at shooting these. Because once there's a bank of cloud in the distance, just behind the docks, that the sun, I can see it starting to come up. Once it lights these up, that'll be fantastic. Right, back at it. getting just more and more bizarre as the morning progresses. It is so devoid of wind around here. It's blowing my mind. The sun, as you can possibly see, is coming up from the right. So I'm having to stand in front of the lens at the side of the camera just to shield it, because I don't want any light flare coming through. But there is so little wind that everything has just gone flat calm. I never dreamt that I would see conditions like these here. It's very strange. It is glass-like. And it was like somebody turned a switch. On 1 minute, the waves were coming in and they were lapping around these beautiful groins that have now got the stunning light on. All the algae is really popping. And then all of a sudden, it just stopped. It was so weird. I suddenly became aware that it had gone quiet. I can hear the waves in the distance, but there is just not a sound. And it's kind of caught me off guard because I just wasn't expecting it. Yeah, that's working okay. So I'm at f14, 15 seconds, ISO 100. I have the 17 to 55mm on, and I am at about 12mm, I believe. See if my EXIF tells me. Oh no, I am at 23mm. Really? Sorry, I'm kind of lost for words at just how quickly it happened. Well, what a strange morning. You live and learn. You can't have it your own way every time you go out. But as you saw, I did all the relevant planning. And still it doesn't always go to plan. Thanks for coming along. And I shall see you, I need my sunglasses, next weekend. We'll do it all again and I'll try planning again and hopefully this time it'll work. See you soon. Yes, I know. I said see you later. But I've driven a little further down the road to Mjols, or Mols, or Mjols, not quite sure how you pronounce it, to have some breakfast. And I thought, I'm having to be a bit careful here. I'll go and have a look if there's any boats out. And indeed there is. Beautiful. Blue boat. So it would have been kind of rude not to, really. And this is the first time I've been out here on the sandbanks. If I spin you around, I'll show you. Over there somewhere is where the car is. And it's the first time I've been here on my own. So I was a bit nervous about coming out across the sandbanks, because the guys who come here regularly know which track to take that isn't going to suck them in. And I think when I was down here last time, if I'm I can't see because I'm looking into the sun. If that's a boat, that's the one we were shooting last time. So we were kind of over there, but I wasn't confident enough to walk across that bit. And I haven't got my waders on, I've only got my welly gogs on. So I came down to do this one. Now I've shot this in portrait orientation because I just wanted the boat. There's another boat lurking. As I say, I really can't see a thing, but over here there is, it's there. Shooting vertically or in portrait orientation, I can lose that, which was what I wanted. I've just tried running landscape orientation, it doesn't quite work because it not only gets that boat in, but in order to get the reflection of the mast, I'm having to go really wide and then I'm getting too much of this in. I might be able to sort that in post and crop it, and I strongly suspect that that boat isn't going to be there when I finished editing, because I really just wanted this blue boat. And oh yes, I have to keep moving because you stand still too long and you sink. So I'm back on the 17 to 55, and the vertical or the portrait orientation shot was 10,000 kelvins, 20 seconds ISO 155 mil, and that's with the 10 stop and a 0.6 hard grad. It's not perfect because the tide is out sufficiently that there is a band of sand there, and I would have preferred that to have been water, but I'm not too displeased. So yeah, quite pleased with that. And the sun's coming in from the right hand side, it's putting beautiful light on the right hand side of the boat. The boat is leaning to the right. Oh, so are you. The boat is leaning to the right, so it's leaning into the image, all of which works well in terms of compositions. I'd really like to get out there, because then, I'm trying to move, keep moving. If I was stood over on this side, I would have the curve of the river as it goes out there. But I would be on the wrong side of the boat. I would be on the side of the boat that's in the shadow, so that really wouldn't work. Right, that's it. I'm definitely done. I'm going to go have some breakfast. Have a great week, guys. See you next Sunday. Bye.